FlowJack.com or call 855-4FLOWJACK. That's 855-435-6525. Proudly made in America. FlowJack hand well pumps. Peace of mind in a box.
You can say what you want about Dick Gregory, but he really is an iconic figure. He was part of Wounded Knee while they were shooting the place up, from what I was reading. Thousands of rounds of ammo poured in there. He went in there to be peacefully stand with those that were under attack. I mean, he's been everywhere and done everything. They've got that Johnny Cash song, I've Been Everywhere, man. We got interrupted by the break, moving away from Clooney and Darfur and Sudan and, that whole nightmare situation over there. Expanding on what you were trying to talk about with the Commerce Secretary. I remember it was you that forced it out because the coroners had leaked it. He'd been shot in the head. And, of course, then they guided the plane in. And But tell folks about that story, because there's so many other things you've witnessed. And then I want to ask you about President Obama.
Here's one of the things that when the coroners brought it to me, well, I was really touched. And here's the reason why. It was 7 folks. 1 woman, might have been 2 women, 5 males. One of the males was up to move and to being a general. After that, all of that stopped. I had 7 white folks came to me about a black man who had been murdered, and there was no plane wreck. And I had to ask myself, if you, Dick Gregory, was ready to be elevated to a general in the United States military, and God knows how far you could go. If a white guy had a bullet in the back of his head, would you get involved? Would you get involved with this? At the expense of your family? They did, man. My life had moved me into situations where I've been able to see things. And then I have to question, God, man, how do these... When I'm with Clooney the other day in jail, I'm thinking that's the first time he's ever been to jail. Now, his program while we were there was talking about we got a short window. We had a meeting in the jail. And I said, man, a bell didn't ring inside of me. If you got X amount of weeks before these people, and I said, look, let me tell you, I'm gonna eat nothing but liquids until they move that blockade. I'm not interested in the war. I'm interested in all wars. Right now, look, if I fall out the 18th floor window and I come to your hospital and your doctors and teams are around and I got a broken ankle, a fractured skull, I got cracked ribs, I got all kinds of stuff, and my heart stops, Everybody got to stop doing what they're doing to work on my heart. That's the way I look at this problem over there. I know what this country's doing. I know, see, most black folks think white supremacy is the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan don't determine public policy. Most white folks don't even understand what white supremacy is. That's why when all these folks say, I saw UFOs, we were shooting at them, I'm the Air Force, can't nobody admit it. Why? Because once you admit that, white supremacy goes out the window, organized religion go out the window, and then we become earthlings. We would be earth people. And there's nothing in my grandma's head that could commit her to believe there could be a Baptist on Mars. So when you sit and look at where this is going and how much information is out here that's been tricked and twisted and all of that, let me tell you, I know stuff about that Kennedy shooting. And if you ever hear me or read anything I say, I'm one of the few people that don't say when he was assassinated. But there's certain things you don't say because you would discredit yourself. I see horror stories out here. When I was in New York on September the 10th and the 11th, because the head of the ACLU for 20 years had been fighting police brutality cases. And now he's running for public something. I'll think of it in a minute. And so a woman called me, a black woman, and she said, look, this white brother here in the last 20 years have cost the New York City about $4 to $5 billion winning and selling police brutality cases. And he's running for a public advocate. And what would it cost you to come in and campaign for him? And said, I'm the one that won it. And I said, no, I know him. I'll do it for free. And here's the conditions. On the 10th, 01, I come in, we hold a press conference, and on the 11th, give me a team to go into the black community and tell black folks who this man is and take him to the polls. And I called my wife that night and said, babe, where you got me sleeping tonight? I live in Massachusetts. She said, you're not. A friend of yours called and said, don't spend the night in New York tonight.
Whoa, stay there. We got to come back. Got a call. Get out of New York. We'll be right back. Amazing. Dick Gregory.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lung system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lung system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lung system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lung system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Folks, Iran and the Mideast nuclear mess is already ballooning our gas prices. Whether you're struggling with food costs, which are being blown up by gas costs now, or know that when the Mideast showdown explodes, whatever food supply you have is all you'll get because of huge panic demand, eFoods Direct Family Packs are the answer. Now, the most affordable best food is saving you up to 50% compared to other poor quality food companies. The new Alex Jones Quick Fix Family Packs save you so much money, the savings from eating this food will actually help you pay your other bills. No matter what effect the Mideast crisis or the crashing economy have, you'll have food as delicious tonight as 25 years from now. Order now for 50% savings and free shipping on these affordable family packs. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Corruption of your thoughts, yeah. Destruction of your soul.
We're going to get into President Obama and what Dick Gregory thinks of the work he's been doing here in just a moment. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Alex Jones. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Notice here in Dick's bio, there's really no websites to plug, but I should ask him. I know he's just out there promoting peace and his view of the world. Love him or hate him, you've got to admit the guy's consistent and certainly an open mind and a great comedian in his own right. And he's a living history book. He's seen so much. Mr. Gregory, you were getting into the fact that a friend called, because you're asking, hey, where am I sleeping in New York, if folks just joined us. In your own words, recap that and continue.
Well, I called my wife the night of the 10th, and I said, hey, dear, where you got me sleeping tonight? She handles all my hotel, train. She said, your friend called me and told me the name. He said, tell you don't spend the night in New York tonight. So I trust him. I know who he is. I know what level of consciousness. So I go to the train station and get me a train out coming to Washington, D.C. And midnight. I get here at 4 in the morning, and I can't wait to get off the train to call this friend of mine. So I called him, and there's nothing you can say on the phone. I said, how'd you know I was in New York? He said, we picked you up on the satellite, brother. So I don't know what was going to happen. Many of us been knowing about blowing up the World Trade Building. I didn't know the date. There were some people that knew that. I didn't know the date. It's called Operation Binko. That's how long we knew about it when we busted some folks in the Philippines and found it in their hard drive. So all this old stuff that and all that's the game that they play.
Yeah, Bojinko.
Yeah, and so consequently, I go home and I call some folks from my apartment and said, man, I wasn't planning on being here in D.C. And in D.C., we walk every morning at like 5 o'clock. So I said, sit back an hour, and I'll meet you in the park. And so when I get back home, my wife and one of my children had called me and told me a plane had hit the World Trade Building. I'm thinking it's like one of them Piper Cubs like we saw in King Kong, right? And so while I'm getting dressed to meet them for a talk about a demonstration at the Capitol, I see the other plane hit the building. I said, oh. So now I call my friend who tipped me off, and I said, wow. And all he said is, you owe me one. You don't talk on the phone, right? And so now I start watching everything. Now I shut down. I called Leo and said, I'm out of circulation. I called a couple of researchers, said, put on every TV you got in your house and watch it. And then so all at once now, the second plane hit. Now I'm going to ask you a question, those of you that's listening. If you work for NBC or CBS or ABC, and you was the one that captured that picture of that second building being hit, you would have a Pulitzer Prize, you'd make $40,000 a speech, and your name would be world-renowned. How come we don't know the person that took that picture? It's just simple deduction. How come we don't know the person that took that picture? Now I'm looking, and I know what to look for. I know when the stuff hits, you're dealing with people's emotions. You can put all kind of stuff down. Then you get the Pentagon. Okay, it got hit, right? Well, now let's look. The Pentagon, that plane came in 6 feet off the ground. How you going to have a plane doing 6 feet off the ground doing 450 miles an hour? That's impossible. You can't do that. But let's say it did. Now, if you know what a Pentagon is, and you move out from the Pentagon, you got the highway, and you keep moving, you got Arlington Cemetery. In order for a plane to hit the Pentagon, it's 6 feet off the ground, it had to come through Arlington Cemetery. There's not one tree or lamppost knocked down in Arlington Cemetery. Now, one of the tricks they'll do is right after something happened, you got a cab driver say, yeah, I saw it come in, and I was scared. You don't know if that's an agent or not. You don't know who that is. They've already got people playing of what they're going to say. You think they're just some order. And one of the things that's going to bring this country down to its knees is a handful of cops. I'm not talking about these ones we see in the street that know that homicide, when they call it suicide and all that, they know it. And the news media knows it. I'm not talking about these reporters. I'm talking about the news media that put the tricks down and feel this out and say so-and-so saw this. They don't